This is Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Welcome to Good Morning Idaho on your Thursday morning. I'm Kristen Scovira.
And I'm Matt Sizemore. Thanks for joining us on Channel 6, Roku, or wherever you might be streaming us this morning. A sign of summer. Summer's just about here. I guess it's here today, really.
Decided to be here today.
Yeah.
Rachel Garceau is also here today, and she joins us on what could be record-breaking heat.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
Possibly our hottest June 3rd ever. In fact, it looks very likely that we will set heat records today. We thought it was hot yesterday with that 96 in Boise. Let's tack on 5 more degrees of heat, shall we? Records expected to be shattered today. I use the word shattered. When you have a temperature that is 3 degrees above the record high, that is pretty significant, and that's likely what we'll see today. That means triple digits are likely across the entire Treasure Valley. We have an excessive heat warning that goes into effect for the Boise area at 10 o'clock this morning. All of that to say, please limit your time outdoors if possible today. If you have to be outside, of course, hydrate. Slather on the sunscreen, because even as we look at the next 6 hours, blazing sunshine overhead. Before lunchtime, we'll be well into the 80s. In fact, I think by noon we will touch 90 degrees, topping off eventually today at 101 in Boise. Our previous record high for this date, 98 degrees back in 2007. We will stay hot tomorrow, but finally this weekend a cool front will come in and offer us finally a little relief from the heat, and we'll talk about that coming up.
Now, the Idaho News 6 traffic report.
On the traffic front this morning, still very quiet out there as we anticipate this early in the 6 o'clock hour. Things just barely getting off the ground as far as that rush hour goes. So not much to worry about so far. That sunshine will be bright and blinding once it comes up, but so far so good as far as those major intersections go, like Eagle Road and Chinden, State and Glenwood, and the connector into and out of downtown Boise. No issues to be concerned with so far on our Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Rachel. Police accountability has been the focus of a national movement, and now the city of Boise is in the process of transforming its Office of Police Oversight.
Yes, city leaders are promising more transparency when it comes to investigating complaints against officers. Boise created the first version of its Office of Police Oversight more than 20 years ago. The proposed new model will be known as the Office of Police Accountability and will still operate independently of the police department. The city wants your feedback, though. The survey includes questions about the familiarity with the Office of Police Oversight and what people think is important. The proposed model will continue to accept complaints, but it will also conduct audit investigations of the police department's internal affairs.
They'll audit those investigations, give us reports on trends and patterns, best practices, things they see in other parts of the country that we might look toward. And we think that that will offer both the citizens, continue to offer the citizens a place to bring complaints, but also offer us an ability to review policy in a more complete way.
One of the big changes in this proposal would be moving the office from a part-time to a full-time staff. The former director stepped down Monday, and Mayor Lauren McLean has named an interim director. Applications for the new position are closed, but the city will start interviews this month to fill that new full-time position. The city council has reviewed the ordinance twice to revamp the office, but there's no timeline yet for a third reading and a vote.
Explosive growth has Meridian leaders hustling to keep up and plan for the future. Mayor Robert Simison laid out part of his vision in his State of the City address Wednesday. Meridian is targeting faster emergency response times, a new library, and park improvements, but above all else, the mayor says people want improvements to existing roads and schools. One of the biggest projects is connecting North and South Linda Road with an overpass over the interstate.
As part of West Ada's efforts to balance enrollment, children in South Meridian now need to get to Peregrine Elementary, which is off Linder on the north side of the interstate. So what are we going to do about it?
A task force is now committed to the project. City councilors approved $2.5 million in April to help with bridge construction. And later this month, Mayor Simison will meet with the ITD board to discuss the project. City's also hoping to move forward with a new police substation and adjacent fire station on a plot next to Discovery Park in South Meridian. Right now, the Idaho Transportation Department is hosting an online open house sharing plans for a massive project to connect the north and south sides of the Treasure Valley. The proposal would extend Highway 16 from Chinden Boulevard all the way to I-84 with a high-speed expressway. The online meeting includes a virtual tour and design plans for the new corridor. The long-range plan also includes another interchange at McDermott and I-84 with an estimated cost of $170 million. The open house wraps up tomorrow. You can check it out at itdprojects.org.
As more Americans get vaccinated, President Biden is praising America's rebound from the pandemic, citing new economic growth projects and teasing a summer of reunion and relief.
A summer of freedom, a summer of joy, a summer of get-togethers and celebrations. An all-American summer that this country deserves after a long, long, dark winter that we've all endured.
The work isn't quite done, though. In May, after meeting initial targets, the president set a new goal of vaccinating 70% of American adults with at least one shot by the 4th of July. Nationally, we're well on our way with about 63% so far, but several states, including Idaho, still lag well behind.
For all the progress we're making as a country, if you are unvaccinated, you are still at risk of getting seriously ill or dying, or spreading disease to others. It's your choice. So please, exercise your freedom. Live without fear.
State vaccination data shows just under half of Idaho adults have received at least one shot, but numbers are much lower for people 34 and under. Vaccinations are free and widely available for anyone 12 and older.
Since the CDC revamped its guidance on face masks for fully vaccinated people, there have been several approaches to try and keep the spread of COVID-19 low as masks start to come off. In Idaho, vaccinated people can enter a business without a mask on, but it's all based on the honor system. Across the border in Oregon, the health authority says vaccinated people must have proof of their vaccination status if they want to go without a mask, but some businesses in the state say they don't have time to check on everyone's vaccination status.
A lot of people are going to say, oh, I relate to being vaccinated, and that's why the government has put these stipulations in place for businesses to ask for that vaccination card. But businesses just do not have the time. I don't think government understands the way business operates. To have somebody at the front door to police that is just asking too much on business, small business in general.
Tonight on Idaho News 6, our Jake Garcia digs into whether or not businesses and even employers can ask for your vaccination status and finds out if asking that question violates any health privacy laws. And we want to know this morning, how do you feel about sharing your vaccination status? Are you willing to show your vaccine card, or is it going too far? Let us know on the megaphone poll. You can find that link on our Facebook and Twitter, or head to idahonews6.com/join. Right now, it is half and half. 50% of people saying yes, they're willing to share their vaccination status. The other half saying no, and we have no maybes at the moment. So keep on sending those in, and we'll see what we get.
Well, if you know anything about Treasure Valley nurseries, then you probably know these 4 words: Franz Whitty Pink Flamingos. Whitty can joke about naming the business after himself, and about those crazy pink flamingos. The unique name and the pink birds, that's a marketing dream, right? And those flamingos, by the way, that was an idea started on a whim.
And within 2 or 3 weeks, if you went within a 5-mile radius of the nursery, in a grocery store line or a restaurant, people were talking about those foolish birds. And it just blew up. And we tried to quit about 10 years into it and couldn't.
We love those foolish birds. They're so cute. Coming up, our Don Nelson will have more on the longtime Boise businessman in this week's Made in Idaho. 6:08 now, still to come on Good Morning Idaho. Hackers target one of the nation's largest meat suppliers, and now we're learning about new attempts on mass transit systems. The investigation's underway right after the break.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good Morning Idaho.
You are. Thanks for getting up with us. And many Idahoans surveyed by the CDC admitted to delaying or just not showing up to all those regular doctor appointments because of the pandemic. Now the American Heart Association, they're working to change that. Health experts say many people missed out on their regular appointments over fear of catching COVID-19. But the American Heart Association and St. Alphonsus say skipping out on these appointments will have a negative impact on your health, especially if you do contract COVID-19 or deal with conditions that could put you at high risk for complications.
One of the things that we have found is that 20% of all people did not go to the doctor in February and March. And with people that have chronic conditions, we really are encouraging them to get back and see their doctors right away.
Doctors have been working throughout the pandemic to ensure everyone's safety and protocols in place to keep patients and staff protected. Well, new this morning, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is seeking a new trial. Chauvin's attorneys argue their client was denied a fair trial due to misconduct by jurors and the prosecution. They also want to change the venue. Chauvin's attorneys also requested the former officer receive a sentence of time served when he is sentenced June 25th. They argue Chauvin has no criminal history and is not likely to re-offend. Prosecutors filed their own sentencing motion Wednesday asking for a sentence of 30 years. And family members of victims in the March mass shooting at a Boulder, Colorado supermarket want an audit of donation money collected by nonprofit groups. Families say the groups are not being open about how the money is being distributed and claim one of the groups is keeping 5% as an administrative fee. ABC News reports the Community Foundation Boulder County and the Colorado Healing Fund have collected just under $6 million so far. The fund's executive director says the group has been open and clear about charging that fee. And just a day after revealing hackers targeted one of the country's biggest meat suppliers, 2 more cyber attacks have come to light, affecting mass transit in New York and Massachusetts. ABC's Faith Abube breaks down why we're seeing a surge in these attacks and what's being done about it.
The list of known cyber attacks threatening to impact American life is growing. In New York City, the nation's largest mass transit agency says in April, its computers were the target of an attack. Officials say hackers linked to the Chinese government tried to exploit security flaws within the transit system, including the city's subways and buses.
Probing another country's infrastructure in case they wanted to, at some point, if they felt they needed to, flip the switch to deactivate, to decommission our system, cause disruption.
In Massachusetts, the ferry system that connects Cape Cod to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket also confirming it's the victim of a cyber attack. The ferry operator says it's working with federal authorities to find the origin of the hack. It's now asking riders to use cash because its credit card systems are limited.
The old system is what she had us use, you know, the old card readers, and that was it.
This all coming as the FBI blames a cyber criminal group based in Russia of hacking into the world's largest meat supplier. JBS says it's on schedule to resume production at all of its American plants today. But the days-long shutdown could cause meat prices to climb, similar to how another hack from a Russian-based group affected U.S. gas supplies and prices last month.
There's a lot of speculation as to what's the motivation behind this rash of hacks. Clearly, one of those motivations is to show the United States that the Russians and their proxy groups are capable of doing these things.
According to the cybersecurity firm Black Fog, damages from cybercrime could hit $6 trillion this year alone, doubling since 2015.
And the White House has not blamed the Kremlin directly, but has suggested that Russia is harboring cyber criminals. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
14 now, we're taking a live look at Boise from atop the Grove Hotel. That's courtesy of our Bronco Motors Tower Cam. Still ahead on Good Morning Idaho, we'll have this morning's forecast with Rachel Garceau.
Here's meteorologist Rachel Garceau with your Idaho News 6 forecast.
6:17 now on what is shaping up to be the hottest June 3rd ever on record across much of our area, not just in the valleys, but up to the mountains as well. I just chose 3 places to talk about, but even over in the Magic Valley, places like Twin Falls will likely see record heat today. The larger numbers you see, those are my forecast highs for today. Boise 101, Ontario 102, McCall 88 degrees. These are our previous records, so if we hit all of those numbers, looks very likely that we will set those heat records today. Even if I'm off by 3 degrees, we'll tie the record high for today. I do think it looks likely across much of the valley. This will be the hottest June 3rd that we've ever had, at least since we've been keeping records for the last century or so. Now, as far as the excessive heat warning goes, it goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning. because by noon in the Treasure Valley, we will already be at 90 degrees, headed for those triple digits. A less severe but still significant heat advisory is in effect for the Magic Valley, the western Magic Valley, from Gooding down towards Twin Falls. That also starts up at 10 o'clock for temperatures into the upper 90s today. So just unusual heat across the board for the entire region. And the other thing we'll throw into the mix today is the possibility of some thunderstorms, where you see this light green shading. That's where some storms are possible. Not necessarily likely, but all the ingredients will be there. And so there is the possibility of a storm. Where you see the deeper green here on our convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, that's where storms are more likely to develop. So eastern Oregon stretching up just past McCall and then out towards central Montana. We'll likely see most of those storms. We do have some moisture you can see here kind of popping up in central Oregon. High pressure remains the big dominant feature, but with that moisture out there and the possibility of just some instability in play this afternoon, that could trigger some of these storms. Again, it looks most likely eastern Oregon by 3 to 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see some storms pop up. So Ontario, you could get hit with some very gusty outflow winds, quick rounds of hail and some rain as well. You can see most of the Treasure Valley remains clear through all of this until about dinner time. Then we'll likely see the clouds quickly develop, a few little storms possible. They could bubble up and then dissipate real quickly, and then we're left with sunshine tomorrow. But finally, temperatures will start declining from Friday into the weekend and then on into early next week. So our heat wave reaches its peak today. 101 for Vail, Ontario, Weiser, Emmett, 100 degrees for Nampa, Caldwell, and Kuna, 101 in Boise, and right at that century mark for Mountain Home. Remember, we are typically closer to 77 degrees for June 3rd in Boise, so 25 degrees hotter than is typical, and we hit 96 yesterday to give you some perspective. That's where Council will be today. We'll be up near 90 in our mountain locations like McCall, Donnelly, and Cascade. Mid 80s for Stanley and Sun Valley. Fairfield into the 90s today, and a hot one in the Magic Valley as well, flirting with 100 in Twin Falls. We may not quite get there, more likely about 98 for Twin Falls, but still unbelievably hot. 95 tomorrow, down to 84 with some wind on Saturday. That refreshing breeze sticks around on Sunday, and temperatures continue to drop until we reach 78 on Monday. 6:20 now, and after the break, one company is using technology to create flavor profiles for wine. Their plans to improve the wine industry. Straight ahead.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a live look at Meridian from the Bronco Motors Hyundai Tower Cam. This is the village at Meridian, not the entire city of Meridian. Trending this morning, free beer could be on the way for the nation. What? The maker of Budweiser says it'll buy everyone around if the U.S. reaches its vaccination goal.
Yeah, anyone over 21 will be able to get a beer, a seltzer, or other drink at no cost. People will need to take a picture of themselves at their favorite drinking spot and upload it to mycooler.com/beer. Now that site won't work until the country reaches its goal of 70% of all Americans receiving at least one dose of the COVID vaccine.
Okay, well, let's make that happen so we can get a free beer.
Exactly, or seltzer, or something else.
Or something else.
Or something else. Well, and if beer or seltzer or something else isn't your thing, how about wine? A California tech startup is taking artificial intelligence to a very fancy level, teaching a computer to taste wine.
What?
Yeah, it's all to help winemakers improve their products and attract new customers. Tastery founder Katarina Axelsson says the AI analyzes tens of thousands of wines a year. Axelsson says she got the idea when she was a chemistry student working at a winery. Feels like that computer is going to be kind of snobby. It's going to be like, I don't love it, you know.
I feel like there's so many people that would just volunteer to do this, let alone
we're giving it to a robot computer.
Come on, what a waste. Well, I mean, that's fun, though. Good for them.
What a waste. That's fun.
Yeah, whatever. Picking up fresh fruit at the dollar store. That's a thing now, I guess. Dollar store chains are starting to offer fresh groceries at some locations. Follows years of criticism that they don't provide customers with enough healthy food options, or any, really. Family Dollar is selling apples, oranges, onions, potatoes, and other fruits and vegetables at roughly 100 of its more than 7,000 stores. The company is also selling frozen poultry, pork, and beef. I don't know about that. As for Dollar General, they now offer produce at more than 1,300 locations. Last week, the company said it intends to put produce departments in 1,000 additional stores this year. That could go either way, I feel.
I used to live right next to one in Nashville, like within walking distance. So, being able to get some fresh things, that's helpful.
Yeah, hopefully it's actually fresh. I remember in college living close to a dollar store, and I'd go there and just get the worst foods you could even imagine.
Well,
so if they have something fresh there, you hope it's fresh.
You're fine.
Okay.
All right, well, today is a foodie day that comes with endless options. It's National Egg Day.
Oh, good.
The nutrient-rich food, it can be prepared, a fried, scrambled, poached, over easy, or a sunny side up. Those are just a few options. And they aren't just for breakfast, of course. Eggs are also a key ingredient in pasta and burgers, baked goods like cookies and cakes. So you can celebrate your excellent food creations by posting to social media with the hashtag National Egg Day. I do love eggs.
Eggs are great.
They are a staple of my diet when I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
There's nothing for dinner.
Yeah, and you can do everything in the world with them. They make cakes. You just do it all.
All the things. All right, time now for GMI Wants to Know. If you could spend a day with any celebrity or any person from history, who would it be? You can send those answers on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. What do we have, Matt?
We've got, let's see, Bill says Marsha P. Johnson. Not sure who that is.
Now I have to look her up.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out, who that is. David says historically JFK.
Yeah.
And us three would be pretty cool.
Oh, you're putting us in the same sentence as JFK?
Oh, we can't live up to
I cannot.
that. We're working on it slowly, I guess.
Not. All right. Thanks for those. We will get back to those in a little bit. Right now, though, it is 6:26. Coming up in our second half hour, triple-digit temps are on the way for the Treasure Valley. The new efforts to keep pets safe from being locked inside hot cars.
And it's a name synonymous with beautiful landscaping in the valley inside Franz Whitty Garden Center in today's Made in Idaho.
This is Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho on this Thursday. I'm Matt Sizemore.
And I'm Kristen Scovira. Thanks for joining us on Channel 6, Apple TV, or wherever you might be streaming us this morning. Well, if you know anything about the Treasure Valley and the nurseries specifically, then you know these 4 words: Franz Whitty pink flamingos.
That's right. That's the 4 words right there. In this week's Made in Idaho, our Don Nelson sits down with the man himself who's celebrating 50 years in the business at their brand new location in Canyon County.
The company's grown much like a family.
Raised on a farm in Weiser.
Very humble beginnings.
Franz Whitty came to Boise to go to school and learn a thing or two about business.
I actually had a friend that we started the company with. We did it as a summer job. And I tell him every summer, I said, we're going to make $10,000 this summer.
The budding landscaping business out of Whitty's Boise Bench home soon moved out to State Street in West Boise. So some might say, why name the business after yourself?
Well, I didn't know anybody I liked better at the time.
Franz Whitty can joke about it now, but with the unique name and pink flamingos, that's a marketing dream. Oh, about those pink flamingos, an idea that just started on a whim.
And within 2 or 3 weeks, if you went within a 5-mile radius of the nursery, in a grocery store line or a restaurant, people were talking about those foolish birds. And it just blew up. And we tried to quit about 10 years into it and couldn't.
It's a good thing they didn't, because those foolish birds are more than just a marketing ploy. They are a sign of home, as he emotionally tells the story of local airmen deployed overseas.
CNN interviewing the mountain home guys. Our flamingos are in the background of the desert, or the first Gulf War. And because the girls, their wives had sent them. Oh. I don't know why that chokes me up, but it's just an interesting story.
And here he is, celebrating his 70th birthday and 50 years in business at his brand new location at Chinden and 11th Avenue.
My dad lived to be 100 years old, 101 actually. And I was walking across the field, and I thought, God, I wish he was here. He'd love this place. I wish the old man was here. And I took about 3 more steps, and I go, you are the old man. I am now that old guy.
Nothing but smiles for this old man, because Franz Whitty has a lot to be grateful for, including those pink flamingos. Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.
The Allergy Report, brought to you by Boise Valley Asthma and Allergy.
I love knowing the backstory of those places we all know so well, right? Let's talk about that allergy report for today. We are in the high category, kind of smack dab in the middle of that high category. We have grass, we have pine, maple, and still cottonwood hanging in there as far as our pollen producers for the last little bit. So 121 is that count. If you are going to venture out today, I would highly recommend you go out early or late today and avoid the heat of the day if at all possible. We have a record-setting Thursday coming our way. An excessive heat warning fires up at 10 a.m. here in the Treasure Valley for afternoon high temperatures of up to 103 degrees possibly. A heat advisory, a little less severe but still worth noting. That's for the Magic Valley until 9 o'clock tonight for temperatures approaching that 100-degree mark. Remember, in Boise, typically in late spring, which is our favorite season for a lot of us because of the nice, comfortable temperatures, we're normally around that 77-degree mark. The record high thus far, the hottest we've ever been on June 3rd in Boise, is 98 degrees. This is my forecast high for today, 101 degrees. So that is considered kind of shattering a record. It is going to be a scorcher out there. Please, 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 no dogs, no children in those cars today. Maybe put off the errands if you really have to, as we will have dangerously hot conditions across all of our viewing area. But we are already seeing a cool down working its way into the Pacific Northwest that will eventually make its way here. And we'll talk about that in my full forecast.
Now, the Idaho News 6 traffic report.
As you get ready to head out the door this morning, you can already see that sunshine is very bright on our traffic cam network. But as far as those roadways go, a few more cars kind of piling on the interstate, but no major issues to report to you. We see no slowdowns here at our traffic cam network. And as we look at our Waze app, that wider view of the entire I-84 corridor, no slowdowns, no bottlenecks, no accidents so far on our Thursday morning.
All right. Thanks very much, Rachel. With temperatures rising, medical workers are urging those who might be enjoying the outdoors or working in the sun to be cautious of heat-related illnesses. Those symptoms include fatigue, muscle cramps, lightheadedness, and nausea. These illnesses can be brought on by physical exertion, and some medications like antihistamines can increase your risk. Still, many people have to make a living working outside. Twin Falls City officials tell us there are currently about a dozen multi-unit housing projects under construction in the city, and many more single-family homes are being built, leading to workers having to battle the heat daily.
Work with your team to try to have frequent breaks out of the sun if possible, to be very aware of your teammates, to watch for those signs and symptoms of dehydration.
Is experiencing any of these symptoms, you should get out of the sun immediately, get out of layered clothes, and drink water. If symptoms aren't getting any better, call 911.
Well, starting Monday, police in Boise will enforce laws surrounding animal welfare. Leaving your pet in a car unsupervised could land you a citation, but if your pet sustains injuries or dies as a result, you're looking at a misdemeanor offense. With triple-digit temperatures expected today, local law enforcement and the Humane Society are urging you to look before you lock.
70, 80 degree days, it's unbelievable how hot the inside of those cars can get. So we're at a time now until we push the winter months where we do not suggest leaving a child or an animal ever inside of a vehicle.
Officers encourage anyone who sees an animal in a hot car unattended to call 911 immediately, and if necessary, take action. Well, are you itching to get back to concerts and listen to live music? You're in luck.
Oh, good. With COVID-19 cases slowing down and more Americans getting vaccinated, bands and musicians are announcing tours and concerts once again, including dates at the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa.
Yeah, the venue already has events and concerts lined up for summer and fall. Our Nicole Camarda joins us live this morning. And Nicole, how is the center recovering and starting to bounce back after a year off?
Yeah, this time last year, concerts and live music wasn't really an option. They were either postponed or canceled. It wasn't really something that we were looking to go to because of the virus. But now the Ford Idaho Center says live music is ready to come back. And so this summer, they will be holding a lot of concerts, about 8 or 9 of them in their outdoor amphitheater. They have held events over the last year, but not too many because of, because of COVID. And before, when they were holding their events, they had them in smaller capacity and they were able to social distance people. But now all of their concerts will be in their outdoor amphitheater, and they are hoping by the fall and winter months that they'll be able to move indoors into the arena.
I believe we have about 8 or 9 shows announced right now and a couple more to go. But the good news is the whole nation is rolling out concerts left and right, and we're right along with that. But also to our benefit is that they'll all be in the outdoor amphitheater for a little while until we reach the fall winter months. So we're definitely easing into the transition, but we're ready to have large events back here this summer.
Yeah, the Ford Idaho Center is not the only spot in the Treasure Valley bringing back live music this year. According to their website, the Knitting Factory in downtown Boise will also have live music this year, but not until August. So you'll have to wait about 2 more months until you'll be able to see someone in concert at the Knitting Factory. But the Ford Idaho Center will be starting pretty much this month, and so you can come on down and check out what concerts they have lined up. And live in Nampa, Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
Nicole, thank you. Still upset the Doobie Brothers are not coming back to Nampa. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, thanks, Nicole. This week is Idaho Yoga Week, and different gym studios and independent teachers are offering free yoga classes to try and give people the chance to see if yoga is for them. One instructor in the Magic Valley is trying to encourage people to get out and try it, since it's such a unique opportunity to meet with different types of teachers and try different types of yoga. While many people think of it as a way to just meditate or remain calm, there are plenty of other benefits as well.
It's good for your brain, left and right brain activities. You remember the things that you do. It's excellent for your body, for flexibility, for strength.
Idaho Yoga Week ends Sunday. For more information on locations and times, head to idahonews6.com and click on our Magic Valley tab. Right now is a live look at the village at Meridian, courtesy of our Rocky Motors Hyundai Tower Cam. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Welcome back, everyone. The winningest quarterback in college football history, Boise State's Kellen Moore, adds a new honor to his legacy. He was just nominated for the College Football Hall of Fame. Moore is one of 78 former college football players up for consideration. He holds the NCAA record with 50 wins in his career at Boise State. He's also second for all-time career touchdown passes. Moore went on to play in the NFL with the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys. After 6 years as a player, he took a position on the coaching staff for the Cowboys. This is Moore's first year of eligibility. He'll find out if he makes it into the Hall early next year. If he does, he'll join Randy Troutman as the only Bronco to make the Hall of Fame. New this morning, the U.S. announces new tariffs against 6 countries for their digital services taxes. The U.S. views digital service taxes from Austria, India, Italy, Spain, Turkey, and the United Kingdom as discriminatory, specifically targeting large Silicon Valley companies. For now, the tariffs are suspended, but they could go into effect in 80 days. The delay gives the U.S. time to negotiate its newly proposed global tax system. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is asking states to use some new government funding to help working parents. The business lobbying group urged states to use money received through the American Rescue Plan to help parents pay child care costs. States are set to receive $350 billion from the American Rescue Plan. The money can be used to cover revenue shortfalls and increased expenses caused by the pandemic. The pressure from the chamber comes as businesses face a massive worker shortage and a record 8.1 million job openings. Across the nation, the housing market appears to be slowing down a bit. The Mortgage Bankers Association reports the number of mortgage applications filed last week fell to its lowest level since February of last year. It was the second week in a row that demand was lower compared to last year. The National Association of Realtors said pending home sales also fell more than expected in the month of April. Industry experts say this could be a sign that home buyers are being priced out of the market due to surging prices and low supply. Time now 6:44. Coming up, Bogus Basin is expanding its summer operations. We'll preview what's in store this year in today's Idaho Backroads.
And we're expanding our horizons this morning with some live looks from EarthCam this hour. Check out Dallas, Texas. Kind of a beautiful start with the cloud cover and the sunshine over Dallas. We have plenty of sunshine coming our way today and record-setting heat as well. I will get to the full forecast and talk about when we get a cool down coming our way. That's next.
Here's meteorologist Rachel Garceau with your Idaho News 6 forecast.
It is 6:46 on what is shaping up to be potentially the hottest June 3rd ever on record. Feel like making history? We might do it today, Idaho. Here's our outlook for today. Already warm this morning. Nothing but sunshine in the skies over southwest and central Idaho. That blazing sunshine will continue today with record heat likely from the valleys all the way up into the mountains of central Idaho. However, I'm also watching the possibility of some stray thunderstorms that could pop up later in the day and impact some of us. Not most of us, but some of our viewing area could have to deal with some very gusty outflow winds and some hail. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, though, as you're heading out the door this morning, here's what you can expect on the temperature front. 63 for Ontario, a very comfortable 65 in Boise, right around 60 in the Magic Valley, and upper 50s for the Haley Sun Valley area. So, hey, I say no jacket if you run a little bit on the warmer side. You can ditch the jacket this morning, and I would say all the shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops, all that summer gear will be on hand this afternoon. Look at this temperature trend for today. By lunchtime, what is that? Less than 6 hours from now, we will be at 90 degrees in Boise. We don't stop there, though. We will top off right around 101 degrees this afternoon. The record high for Boise for this date is 98. We'll be past that by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So no surprise, we do have that excessive heat warning that is in effect for the Treasure Valley today. Doesn't start until 10 o'clock, lasts until 9 p.m. because of the possibility of temperatures as high as 103 in portions of the Treasure Valley. A less severe but still impactful heat advisory in effect for the Magic Valley for temperatures into the upper 90s this afternoon. So high pressure still our big dominant weather feature. In fact, it's anchored right over the Gem State this morning. But you see the little blips of green there in central Oregon. That's some moisture being drawn up from the south. And so that moisture combined with the convection potential, all of that, the instability that's in play this afternoon, all these areas in this very light green color have the potential for thunderstorms. A thunderstorm is possible, most likely though that eastern Oregon, this area here in darker green, through central Idaho and up into Montana, those are the areas that will most likely see storms popping up. So if you're in Boise, maybe looking off to the west this afternoon. Out in Ontario, we may have some storms there. Quick gusty winds could be a big concern. Hail and a quick downpour of rain, then likely clearing up and drying up quickly after that. Still, really the big headline is the heat today, up into the triple digits across the entire Treasure Valley. 100 to 102 is really that temperature range. 95 for Idaho City today, 97 in Garden Valley with plenty of sunshine, but maybe also a few clouds overhead in the mountains, which will offer a little bit of relief at times. Upper 80s for McCall, Donnelly, and Cascade. That 88 in McCall will be a new record high for this date. 85 for Stanley, 87 in Sun Valley. In the Magic Valley today, flirting with those triple digits. Twin Falls likely up to about 98. Those will be some records over in the Magic Valley as well. Quick check of my extended forecast shows a hot day tomorrow, finally cooler this weekend, breezy with low 80s by Sunday, upper 70s coming our way on Monday.
It's just wild today. Thanks very much, Rachel. Bogus Basin is officially open for its summer operations. Right now, though, it's weekends only.
Yeah, but just wait. Later on this month, you can enjoy the mountains 7 days a week. Outdoor reporter Steve Dent shares what's in store in today's Idaho Backroads.
Burn, baby, burn! Bogus Basin provides a playground close to the Treasure Valley that offers a variety of activities and cooler temperatures in the mountains. After dealing with the pandemic last year, they look forward to a normal summer.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to get back to a full slate of events this summer after last summer's COVID. So we'll be looking forward to music on the mountain, music events on our patio, yoga on the mountain. We have our community race series.
The Community Race Series starts on June 22nd with cross-country mountain biking on Tuesdays, trail running on Wednesdays, and downhill mountain biking on Thursdays. Keep in mind that Bogus Basin came up with a master plan in 2016 under the leadership of new GM at the time, Brad Wilson, to become a year-round destination.
Yeah, well, it's been a remarkable 5 or 6 years at Bogus Basin.
Some of those highlights include the Glade Runner Mountain Coaster, moving to 7-day-a-week summer operations in 2018. They engineered their massive snowmaking operation and continue to expand that. And Bogus Basin also installed a new high-speed quad in 2019.
We've been able to complete our 10-year plan in just 5 years. So the team is working now looking toward the future.
Bogus Basin is working on a new 10-year plan as this nonprofit looks to find new ways to help people recreate. And this summer, the mountain will open its 7-day-a-week operation on June 19th.
And at that time, we'll announce more and more things that are coming up.
Steve Dent, Idaho News 6.
And Bogus Basin will also introduce a market later on this summer. And with this hot weather, the trails could be drying out, right? And they could be ready for as soon as this weekend. Very cool. Here's a live look now from our Grove Tower cam. We'll have another check of your news and a final check of your weather right after this.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Indeed you are. Welcome back. The time is 6:54.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. With temperatures rising, medical workers are urging those who might be enjoying the outdoors or working in the sun to be cautious of heat-related illnesses. Those symptoms include fatigue, muscle cramps, lightheadedness, and nausea. These illnesses can be brought on by physical exertion, and some medications like antihistamines, those can also increase your risk. So if you are experiencing these or you see someone who is, you should definitely get out of the sun. Tell them to get out of the sun immediately, get out of those layered clothes, drink plenty of water, and if symptoms aren't getting any better, of course, call 911.
Starting Monday, Boise police will enforce laws surrounding animal welfare. Leaving your pet in a car unsupervised could land you a citation, but if your pet sustains injuries or dies as a result, you're looking at a misdemeanor offense. With triple-digit temperatures expected today, local law enforcement and the Humane Society are urging you to look before you lock. Officers encourage anyone who sees an animal in a hot car unattended to call 911 immediately and, if necessary, take action.
And we want to know this morning, how do you feel about sharing your vaccination status? Are you willing to show your vaccination card, or is it going too far? So let us know through our megaphone poll. You can find a link on our Facebook and Twitter. You can head to idahonews6.com/join. And these are the results so far this morning. We're saying yes, 46%, but more saying no with 53% and 1% maybes.
The Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Homes of Idaho.
Well, our spring heat wave reaches its peak today. We just talked about those blazing hot temperatures and the impact that they can have on humans and animals. And one other thing I will add to the mix, please remember that pavement gets blazing hot to those paws. So please avoid your walks in the heat of the day with your four-legged family members and with yourself. Just put it off until later in the evening when it gets a little more comfortable out there. We will hit 101 in Boise today. We have an excessive heat warning that goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning. There's a very slim chance west of Boise out towards eastern Oregon that a couple of stray thunderstorms could bubble up this evening and early afternoon. Still hot tomorrow. The wind picks up, though, ahead of a cool front for Saturday that will send our temperatures finally back down into more comfortable territory. 80s over the weekend, upper 70s into Boise by Monday.
Now the Idaho News 6 traffic report.
So no big concerns on the traffic front this morning. Of course, you know by now whether or not your AC in the car is in good working order, right? I hope it is, because by your drive home today, you will be cranking up that air conditioning today. This morning, though, maybe the windows down on your drive in. Nothing to report to you as far as any big slowdowns go. Garrity interchange there at Nampa looking good. The rest of I-84 through Ada County also looking pretty quiet this morning. No significant slowdowns to worry about so far.
Sounds good. Time now for GMI Wants to Know. If you could spend a day with any celebrity or any person from history, who would that be?
Great answers we're seeing.
Yeah. Okay. So Ian says Rodney Mullen, and Matt wholeheartedly agreed. And I didn't know what he is, but Ian says Rodney is the freestyle GOAT.
Yep.
Skateboarding, I'm assuming, because of the GIF.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ian, I am 100% with you. Rodney Mullen is my all-time favorite skater. He was just such a joy to watch. The things he does are magical on a skateboard.
So
very cool.
Would the conversation be, hey, how do you do what you do?
Yeah, but show me that. I weigh too much. Can't happen.
Nah, he could give you some pointers. And Tanya says Jackie Robinson is her husband's hero, so he'd have to be able to join us, of course.
Nice. Good picks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow. Looking forward to it.